Have you ever stood on poolside watching a fast swimmer and wondered, how are they moving so fast? They seem to glide through the water like it's moving out of their way. They seem to use no effort and yet move maybe twice as fast as you do in the water. What is it that they're doing to allow them to go so fast? Today, we're going to take a look at what elite swimmers, the fastest of the fast, do in the water to make them so fast. Some of these things you can replicate yourself to improve your swimming, and some of them are simply out of reach for the mere mortal. But it's still good to look at so you know what the secrets are. So let's take a look at our list.
First on our list, and you've probably heard this expression thrown around a lot, but they have a good feel for the water. Yeah, swimmers love to use this expression whether they fully understand it or not. And you're probably thinking, well, yeah, when I'm in the water, I'm surrounded by it. It's all over me. Of course I can feel the water. But what we really mean by this is that these fast swimmers, these top-level swimmers, are very aware, whether consciously or subconsciously, of all the forces of the water and how those forces affect their body. They're able to minimize their drag through the water and increase their propulsion through the water, in essence making themselves faster and more efficient through the water. Now, they've managed this through years and years of swimming in most cases, so yeah, whilst you may not be able to quickly catch up with them and get that feel for the water like they have, you can fast track it to a degree or help it by doing things like drills or scull work to really get an understanding of how that water moves, getting a purchase of the water and that all-important feel of the water.
Point number 2, they balance well. If you look at this kickboard balancing on my hand and imagine it moving through the water, if it tilts up, a lot more water hits it. If it tilts down, the same thing. And it's hard to picture an elite athlete balancing on the water that they're submerged in, but that is essentially exactly what they are doing. They stay perfectly horizontal. Even when they breathe, even when they're kicking hard, they stay perfectly horizontal. This allows them to reduce the amount of drag they have through the water, making them extremely efficient. And this is something that you can practice at home. Getting well balanced in the water is something that you can learn with drills and will make a huge difference to your efficiency in the water. So do some drills and learn to balance well.
Third on the list, they swim taller. Yet the theory is that with the same mass, an object that is long and tapered will move through the water, creating less turbulence and therefore less drag than an object that is short and blunt. This is something that marine engineers have known and used for centuries in their boat hull design, and the same applies for front crawl. So yeah, on the recovery phase, aim is to stretch out nice and long, a nice straight body and the toes point backwards, not downwards. I challenge you to find a fast swimmer doing anything other than that.
Point number 4, they kick efficiently. The kick in front crawl only accounts for about 10% of the propulsion of an elite swimmer, but a poor kick will add a lot of drag. An elite swimmer will kick strongly enough that they get all of that 10% propulsion, but without adding any drag to their stroke. All of their power comes from their hip, extends down their leg, and ends in a flick of the ankle. While it may look like they're hardly kicking at all, that small, fluttering kick is extremely effective.
Number 5, they rotate well by rotating around an axis running through their entire body from head to toe with each and every stroke. With these top-level swimmers, it will not only help to reduce their drag through the water, but also engage more muscle groups, meaning they can distribute the workload across a greater number of muscles, namely those large back muscles, and therefore taking the strain off their shoulders. If you ever watched any of these top-level fast swimmers, you'll notice that this rotation looks so well integrated, so smooth, and so effortless in their stroke. And you too can improve your rotation by doing some drill work, and whilst we're not expecting you to suddenly get up to elite level standard, even the smallest of improvements will significantly improve your swimming.
Point 6, they use their core. Swimming is a whole body sport, and the best swimmers use this to their advantage. While having a stable core is obviously important for your arms to attach to start your pulling, Elite athletes take this a step further and actually initiate their stroke with their core, their chest, back, and shoulder muscles, then following in sequence, each adding more power to the stroke. Their core initiates that rotation Mark spoke about in the last point and then anchors their power throughout the stroke before initiating the rotation on the next stroke. A fast swimmer's core anchors the entire stroke, both in terms of timing and a physical base from which the power can work from.
Okay, the final thing that these fast elite swimmers do that you probably don't see when they're effortlessly gliding past you in the swimming pool is the hours, days, and years of hard training that's gone into them being able to swim so well. Yet, the simple and unavoidable truth is that to swim really well, it takes a lot of training, hours and hours and hours of training, and in some cases starting from an incredibly young age, perhaps even before they could walk. But unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that part of the equation, but we can deal with the other part of the equation, the getting in the pool and getting those hard hours and hard training in, working on a technique, our timing, and our feel for the water. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you have, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, drop any comments you like in the comment section down below and do our best to get back to you. And don't forget to subscribe down below too.